Good afternoon. Welcome to Songbird Homestead. I'm Kimberly. Thanks for stopping by my channel. My husband and I are backyard homesteaders on just about 3/4 of an area in Maryland, Zone 7B. We've been here. We just finished our second year. We just celebrated our second anniversary here, I guess like 6 weeks ago or so. So 2 and a little plus amount of years is how long we've been here. It's funny how time works. Like sometimes I feel like this has been here. Like I know, we're so happy. Janice. Sometimes it feels like we've been here for a very long time. We did design our homestead. It was a complete blank slate. It just had the house and the garage or barn, shed, whatever you want to call it. But everything else I designed, and so it really does feel like, well, it is ours, but it felt like ours very early on. It feels like we've been here for just a long time. But when I look back, not that long ago, we were homesteading, I guess, on just about 1/5 of an acre, which still was quite enough to do what we needed to do. We moved about an hour north of where we were before, so a little bit climate change, even though it's only an hour, but we love it where we are. And even though we only were on 1/5 of an acre, we still had enough. We grew enough to eat fresh, and then also we preserved, canned, dried, I made jams and stuff. So anyway, it's been about a month since I've done a video. I apologize, not just to you, not that maybe you really didn't miss me much, but I apologize to myself because I really want to be better about documenting. But oh gosh, we had just an onslaught of heat and rain and extreme heat and even more rain, and then it got even hotter and it got even wetter. So the garden took a beating. Things got out of control, and I'm going to show that to you. You can look behind me and see just how overgrown everything is, but I love that look. I just love all the wildness and these flowers. If you saw some of my videos previously, this was like this is my crown jewel. This here, these my way station of zinnias for my pollinators. So I'm totally tickled with that. What I wasn't tickled with was trying to maintain all of this in the midst of heat and rain and heat and rain. Oh, and did I mention that I work 40+ hours outside of the home? I do have a full-time job. My husband and I both are full-time employees for someone else, and then we come home and then our real work starts, is what I always like to joke. But we love what we do. Well, we love this part of what we do. The going to work for someone else part, I don't know. It's debatable. My girls are out running about. I try to let them out. They have a coop, and then they have a run that they're in during the day. But when I come home, I like to let them free range. So you'll see them. They'll probably make cameos here and there. But I will maybe partially apologize for the way my garden looks. But it's hard. When it hits July and August and the temperatures go up, that is a time when a lot of people, it gets out of control, and it's very easy to just give up. It was enough to maintain it. It was enough to water it sometimes twice a day. It was enough to then come out and work all day, come home, it's 100 degrees, then harvest, and it became a lot. So videoing and shooting videos wasn't my priority, which is okay because we maintained everything mostly, and I love where it's at now. We're having a very prolific year. This is the best tomato year I've had in my entire life. So I'm so tickled about that. We've already preserved a bunch of stuff, and it's only the first week of August. So let's go ahead and get started. Again, I will warn you that some of it is not for the faint at heart if you're a gardener, but it's also, it's real. It is what it is. It's, I like to be, I want to show like the real stuff, the real life. It might not look the best, but something that I've learned is if I'm giving 100%, then it's 100%. That's regardless, right? Like I can't compare my 100% to someone else's 100%. It's not going to be the same thing. So if I gave 100%, then this is 100%. So, you know, I'm loving it. So that's all that matters. We're getting good food off of it. And this is my beautiful homestead, and I'm about to show it to you in all of its weedy and productive glory. So the first thing that I usually start with, and this is just what I started doing when I first started shooting content here, so I'm just going to continue to do it that way. This is my herb bed. Look closely and you might spy some herbs. There are as many weeds as there are herbs, but I am able to go in and recognize my herbs and still pick off what I need, but it's not pretty. So that's my herb / weed garden. And you can see, like, this is my sage. This is eucalyptus, which this is the first time, you guys, this is the first time I've grown eucalyptus. I'm a little afraid to put my hand in here because I don't know if there's going to be a snake or something, which I wouldn't really care. But look, I have eucalyptus that I'm growing. How exciting is that? I think this is oregano, actually. Yeah, so here's my oregano plant. It wouldn't take much to get these weeds out of here. Oh, that smells amazing. Basil. This is I believe, lemon balm. It smells so yummy. Oh, wait a minute. Nope, I'm wrong. Hang on. Nope. I'm sorry, this is my lemon balm. So what is this? Not really sure. Maybe nothing. Here's my Thai basil. It has gone to seed, which is okay. The pollinators love this. My one little sunflower. More basil. Thyme. Cabbage moth, which I don't love that, but yeah, still. And I also have herbs other places too. This basil smells amazing. I've already dried some basil. So in addition to my herb garden itself, I also plant herbs. I interplant with my herbs in different spots. I have some herbs on my deck. I have herbs in different beds. I plant them all over. Anywhere I have a little bit of extra space, I like to... That is Janice again. What is wrong, girlfriend? My goodness, I don't know, who knows. But like I said, any place I have a little bit of space, I will throw some herbs in there. That doesn't take them long to grow. I usually cut them, propagate them, which means for me, I just stick that in, stick the herbs in some water, and then once they get roots, I pop them in the ground, and next thing you know, I have a whole herb plant. Very easy to do, very easy to multiply your herbs without buying lots and lots of plants or starting them again from seed. Let's see, what else do I have here? Let me go over here. These are all peppers. This little bed right here, and I'll show it to you, does have some radishes and beets in it, but these are all peppers, all 8 of these beds, and I'll show them to you one at a time. Peppers were my gateway to gardening. I've told this story 100 times, I'll say it again. My husband and I guess we hadn't been together a couple years, maybe. It might have been like 2014 or 15, and he likes hot, spicy food, so I got a dragon cayenne pepper plant, I planted one on our deck in a pot and one in the ground with a habanero plant. The habanero was okay, but the dragon cayennes just popped. It was like literally like looking into the grand finale of fireworks at 4th of July. There was just cayenne peppers all over the plant, and they were so tasty. That he was just amazed that, one, they tasted so good because they were so fresh, and he had never had that before. That I then continued to do that. We took a break, and then in 2019, maybe 2019, 2010, I don't remember, 2020, I don't remember. Anyway, we took a break, and then sometime during COVID, we started gardening again, as I know a lot of people did, and we didn't stop, we just kept going, and here we are. But let me show you our peppers. So I have 8 of these beds. I think they're 24 or 18 high by I think 36, and I have 8 of them. The first year we moved in, we did this row of 4, and then the second year I did this row of 4. But these are all peppers, and the reason they're up here is because we pick them a lot, so I wanted them handy. These are Santa Fe Grandes. This fell over a little bit. We had a bad storm and some of my plants fell over and I was never able to get them up again, even though I staked them. But these are Santa Fe Grande and they're actually spicy. I do have a basket somewhere. Yeah, they're ready. These are just sweet bell peppers, more Santa Fe Grande, but these, I pick them and they just keep coming back, which is what they're supposed to do. Oh, what's the matter, Janice? So that's Janice and baby Janice. Yeah, there's Janice right there. What's wrong, Janice? And then baby Janice. Oh, the baby Janice has gotten bigger. Anyway, so most of my peppers I start from, most of my plants I start from seed. If you are familiar with chickens, they are the funniest things ever. And they lay pretty good eggs. But all of my seeds, I start from seed. I do that in like February, March, whatever. There are a couple times that if I see something that's really intriguing, I will, or maybe I really want, I will start, I'll buy a plant. So this is a gnarly Trinidad scorpion. I was in my local farmer's market. And this couple, they were selling, they had nothing but pepper plants. And what was really cool was they had them in cups according to how hot they were. So they had green, which was like just sweet peppers. They had yellow, which were kind of like in the middle. Then they had red, which were of course hot. Then they had black, which I didn't mess with any of the black. I don't think this was a black one, but this is a Trinidad gnarly scorpion. And I'll show you this. When you see this pepper, you're gonna know by the way it looks that it's hot. So look at these guys. Don't they just look like something you don't want to mess with? And they are in there. Woo! Look at them all. I mean, they're just in there. I can't wait to dry these and use these for a rub or something. Like I said, oh, sorry. I'll go get my basket. My husband does love hot, spicy food, so that's where I grow that. I'll do medium. I'll do heat, but I don't like a ton of heat. Girls, out of my tomatillas, come on. This is the problem with letting them run around. They dig up my beds. Go on. But I don't like quite as much heat as he does, but I'll do some heat. I don't know what happened to this plant. I don't know. It's dying though, but I have plenty of other. These are all jalapenos. I have more jalapenos, more jalapenos. These are our dragon cayennes. Now I did pick these yesterday. So these are dragon cayennes. They're not quite as big. The longer ones, let's see. Here we go. The longer ones are regular cayennes. I grow both. Can you see them? There you go. And then these are our West Indies red habaneros. I also picked these yesterday. These couple were a little bit starting to turn, but now they're even more. I'll probably leave them another day. And then more jalapenos over there. Here are more bell peppers in here, which these, we've been using them like crazy. And then over here, these are ají mango habaneros. Another I mean, look at all these peppers, you guys. Look at them all. And then these are ancho peppers. So these will turn red. You can see these are starting to turn. Isn't that gorgeous? Wow. There's some longer ones down here. And they'll turn red. So really been a great pepper year so far. Like I said, these 8 beds are all peppers. Now, peppers, there's so many things you can do with them. My husband will eat them fresh. He will just, when we're having dinner, if we don't have any hot sauce, he'll just, eat his food, take a bite of a jalapeno, take a bite of a habanero, cayenne. He's not picky, he doesn't care. You will see that I grew lots of different types of peppers. We have, let's see, the Santa Fe Grande, the jalapeno, 2 kinds of cayenne, 2 kinds of habanero, the Trinidad Scorpion, then the sweet peppers, the ancho peppers. I don't know, is that 7, 8, 9? I've lost count. But something that I'll do, like I said, there's lots of things you can do with with peppers. Like I said, he eats them fresh. I will make something called it's a green sauce, which is a salsa verde. I take tomatillos, jalapenos, a little bit of garlic and a little bit of onion, saute all that, blend it together. I usually do a 2-to-1 ratio. I'll do 2 jalapenos for every, well, I used to do a 2-to-1 ratio, 2 jalapenos for every 1 tomatilla, but now I've been doing more like 2/3 jalapenos to 1/3. Like if I do 6 tomatillas, I might do, I don't know, gosh, 20 jalapenos, so it's probably more than that. Oh, sorry, there's lots of gnats and mosquitoes out here. It did rain as I was coming home from work. It started to rain, and I was like, I'm making a video regardless. But anyway, so he'll eat them fresh. I'll make a salsa verde. I'll make salsa, fresh salsa. I pickled some. We jar them. We'll dry them, we dehydrate them. So I'll dehydrate all the cayennes. We'll string them up on a fishing line and hang them in my kitchen. That's something that's really fun to do. And then what we'll do at the end of the season, whatever he hasn't used of those, we will then grind and make into a chili powder. That's what the ancho peppers are for. He makes homemade enchiladas. Hi, honey girl. It's my honey girl. We call her Waddles. We have 2 Buff Orpingtons, Waddles 1 and Waddles 2. But my husband makes a really good homemade enchilada sauce. So that's what the ancho peppers are for that. So really excited. We'll dehydrate those, jar them, and have them in the off season too. Gosh, what else can we do with them? Like I said, even, just, dry them, dehydrate them, make a rub out of them. That's something else we like to do. But lots of versatility. These are up near the house because we're just always, these are a staple, and we grow a lot of peppers. So we just want them up here. These 8 beds are just for peppers. That's it. So I have my herbs, I have my peppers. Right here, I'm going to show you this bed. Last year I grew watermelon in. It's actually my garlic bed. I wanted to put something in the ground that was going to feed nitrogen into it. So instead of putting watermelon in, I did my tomatillas, and maybe watermelon will do that too, but I know tomatillas will. So here are my tomatillas. I'm not sure. I planted them late, but I had the space and I had plants. So I was like, I'm going to throw them in the ground anyway, because if I put them in the ground and they grow, great. If I don't put them in the ground, there's no chance of them growing, right? So I put them in the ground. So this bed I made specifically for garlic. I wanted a bed that was going to be empty, so that when it came time for garlic to go on the ground, this was ready. So we just built this bed. It's like 24 by 12 maybe. And typically, like I said, from October to June, I think it is, we have garlic in here. Last year we put watermelon in the summer. But we have tomatillas. I don't know if we're going to get any tomatillas. The only thing I use them for is my green sauce, so hopefully I do. Hey girls, hello there. Does anybody want to be on camera? You gonna let me pick you up? No, when they're out, they don't really like that. So, I spy with my little eye. What is this? This is a pumpkin. So, I'm about to show you something I think is pretty crazy. Oh, okay, hang on. We have company. You gonna say hi? Hello. Are you running around the yard? Are you collecting lots of worms and bugs? You collecting lots of worms? And there she went. See, so this area is completely crazy. This here, it's under control now, but this area here was completely closed up. You couldn't walk through, you couldn't do anything. I thought Gandalf was going to be sitting there with his big staff saying, you know, you shall not pass. For all my LOTR fans out there. But we have had an amazing tomato year. Look at these. My cherry or tomato, grape or whatever tomatoes, this is a Sunrise Bumblebee tomato. Beautiful. They're in there. I don't even know what to do with all of them. I keep picking them. I picked my tomatoes yesterday. We might find a ripe one or two in here that's ready to be picked, but for the most part, I'm going to let these go till tomorrow. These are all, this whole row, this is my Amish paste tomato. I did switch this year. I went from San Marzano to Amish paste. There are a lot of tomatoes that are splitting, which is unfortunate because all the rain we've had. And then over here, there's some more Amish paste. And then, you guys might recognize these guys. These are Brandywine. This is a Brandywine. Yeah, I might go ahead and pick this guy. Uh-oh. Oh, like he's splitting too. Oh, shoot. Oh, shoot. That wasn't supposed to happen. Okay. We got a hitchhiker. And then up here, I had, these are Dad's Sunset tomatoes. I picked all of those yesterday. Put that tomato down. But if you look here, yep, we have a pumpkin. Like what? And then here's another one. I planted them too early. Oh well. I keep losing my basket. I don't think I even found it to begin with. But we have already jarred, gosh, I jarred a bunch of tomato sauce last week, like 4 days ago, and then I picked another probably 30 pounds of tomatoes yesterday. I've already made a bunch of salsa. I made corn salsa, and everything just keeps coming. So I'm going to keep picking it because, you know, the more you pick it, the more the plant will produce. Here's my basket. But yeah, I shouldn't really need my basket because I did pick most of my stuff yesterday. So I'm going to leave this here, hopefully. Show you this other side. So these fell with the storm, and I never got in there to pick them up. So you can see here, we can't even go through there. Can't even go through there. They are still putting out tomatoes. Like I said, I picked them yesterday. There are beets in there somewhere. But this is a hopeless cause. I'm just going to pick through it as it produces. And yeah, it's only August. And look, look where we're at. So something that I just noticed. I don't know if you saw this. See all these seeds? These are dill seeds. Now, I did make a bunch of pickles this year. It's something else I made. But I grew a bunch of dill and I use it for my pickles. Now it's done. It's actually dying, which I'm surprised. I don't know what happened to this plant. But I have all of these dill seeds. So I am going to save these. See them? Isn't that cool? So I'll save them and use them for next year. Now this other bed here, this is even more of a mess. We did get a we got a ton of zucchini. This was more my like early summer bed. We got a bunch of zucchini. We got a bunch of squash, patty pan squash, yellow squash, zucchini. My eggplant, something got my eggplants, and I didn't get one eggplant off of here, which is a shame because in the past, we actually grew eggplant up in one of the tomato beds. Like it doubled as a tomato eggplant bed. And in the past, we've always had amazing luck with our output of our eggplant, but this year something got them down here, so I think next year I'm gonna have to move them back up. But this bed was otherwise very productive with the squash and zucchini and the cucumbers. It's putting out string beans, and you know what, I'm gonna tell you, I'm pretty sure I told my husband this, I think this morning, don't just remind me next year not to grow string beans. I've come to realize I don't really like string beans. I don't really eat them. He doesn't really eat them. I don't make them. I don't want them. I don't care about them. No one I know really cares about them. I think I'm gonna use that space for something else. We didn't grow loofah this year, which in the past we've grown loofah and we really enjoyed growing loofah. I think next year I'll do that instead. But I have a beautiful Mexican sunflower. There's something else some days, I tell you. Anyway, I'm talking a lot, of course. Let me show you. So that is one of my many Mexican sunflowers. Isn't that beautiful? Now, I planted a second one on the other side, and look, yeah, not even close. Now, a groundhog did come through. I had to replant this one, but it hasn't even thought about catching up. I'm pretty sure it's not even going to come anywhere close to that, but we love those. But look here, look at all these, I have all these string beans. I don't even come out and pick them. Like, I just don't even bother with it because I just don't care for them. And I don't know, it's a shame because they're so easy to grow. Here is something else that I'm very excited about. Birdhouse gourds. Woohoo! So funny story. Well, maybe not funny, but I planted birdhouse gourds, which, oh, look at that. I was very excited. But then I came out here one day and I saw these guys. Do you know what that is? It's a cucamelon. Tastes just like a cucumber. Like a cucumber melon. Oh. So I came out here and I see all these, you can see they're like everywhere. So I was like, well, something must have happened. They must have mixed up my plants. The seeds must have gotten mixed up in the packaging because I have all these cucamelons and I have no birdhouse gourds. So I'm thinking, well, I don't have birdhouse gourds. But then I come out and I see, look at that. I'm all about growing fun, new things. I like to grow and try new things every year. Look at these cute little ones. They're so cute. They're about that big. This one's quite a bit bigger. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But I still would like to know where these cucamelons came from. Look at them all. I mean, they're in here like crazy. So yeah, so I still have no idea where these cucamelons came from. I know where the birdhouse gourds came from, but the cucamelons, I didn't plant them. I didn't order them. I have no idea. Plenty of cucumbers. I know where they came from. You guys, I can't keep up with all the cucumbers. I've made more pickles than I know what to do with. We've given some away. The cucumbers. My one daughter loves cucumbers. We've given her some. We've made pickles. I guess I'll make more pickles. I don't know. The chickens like these, so guess what they're having tonight. But yeah, I mean, we had a good year with this bed. It's not as lovely as it normally is. It's normally really pretty, but it's not as pretty as it has been in the past. But we also, I got a lot of zucchini. We got some yellow, some patty pan squash. Patty pan happens to be my favorite. We only got like 2 weeks worth of that. The squash bugs came in. Something came in and just, you can see, just wreaked havoc on here. But lots of zucchini, lots of cucumbers for pickles. I have some herbs here, some squashes, cucamelons plenty, and now I'm gonna have my birdhouse gourds. Like I said, we did give away some of our cucumbers and squash. We have four adult children from 27 to 31. The oldest will be 32. 2 girls, 2 boys. Our daughters live a little closer. Our daughters, oh gosh, one of them's about 25 minutes, the other one's about 35 minutes, and then our boys are they live near each other. They're about 45 minutes from us. So I'm very lucky, very lucky. We actually have a really good relationship with our children. We love, and we also have a grandbaby. He's not a baby. He's 8, but he's my baby. That's my boy. But anyway, yeah, so that's a little bit more about us. But this is, I showed you my tomatoes. I showed you this, my arch trellis. I love arch trellis. If you have anything that's heavy or hanging, I definitely recommend the arch trellis. Is very lovely, especially if you do flowers or other stuff. Look at these girls over here. This is crazy. What are you doing? Are you digging up all the food out of the compost? I see you. So this is our Buff Orpingtons. That's Waddles 1 and Waddles 2. And this is Stevie Chicks, our Jersey Giant. And this is one of our newer girls. Hello, miss. Hello. She's in New Hampshire. She's not quite as red as our other New Hampshires, but hello. It's okay. I'm just checking you out. Whoop. Oh my. Get chickens. Yeah, it'll be fun. Loads of fun. So, gosh, one of my goals, if you've seen my earlier videos from this spring, yeah, here's my weapon. If you see any of my videos from earlier spring, I want my grandbaby, my grandson, I don't know why I call him that, my sweet boy, I want him to come to his BBs, that is what he calls me, we're BB and Chiefy Pop. I want him to come to BBs and Chiefy Pops and pick his own pumpkin for the fall. So I had the space back here, so I was like, let me just plant watermelon and cantaloupe, I think I planted maybe, and then also pumpkins. And my husband was like, you know, those melons, they're gonna take over the yard. And I, of course, laughed and, you know, oh, sure, yeah, okay, don't worry about it. He wasn't wrong. Here we go. Here we go. Yeah, all of this here and all of this here, and yeah, I got runners coming out everywhere. Unfortunately, with all the rain, we had a lot of not great things happen, but here we go once again. It's only August and I got a pumpkin. Yeah, look here. I'm gonna have to give this to the girls. Yeah. This is a Cajo melon. Oh, I just broke it. Okay. Yeah, they're splitting from the rain. Oh my gosh, where's my basket? I'll have to grab that. But here's more. These are Cajo melons. And as you can see, they're like a salmon-y, orangey color inside. Also grew early girls, Catania melons. I'll have to get my basket and come back for that. And we've picked some off of it. I like to grow the smaller melons that you only get, you know, that are maybe like 3 or 4. We love where we live, but we don't love that. Anyway, I like to grow the melons that are like, you know, 3, 4, 5 pounds, something you can fit like easily, like heavy in your hand, but big, you know, like for 1 or 2 people. I find anything bigger than that we waste. We won't eat it all. But look here, it's my pumpkin vine. Look at that. Another one, and then it goes further up, and then we have that guy there. But there are just stuff everywhere. I do wear boots when I'm out here because there might be snakes. I have no idea. There's another. Oh no, that's a cantaloupe. Holy crow. So I guess I did grow cantaloupe. It's way big. Kimberly. Ah. What else is over here? I thought I just saw something else. Oh, that's bad. No bueno. These are probably our early girls. I'm gonna leave that now. Yeah, and they go all the way over there. They're just taking over. Look. I don't think my husband is quite as amused as I am, but he married me, right? He picked me. But anyway, let me see if I can get out of here. Woo! Oh my goodness, try not to step on anything. Oh, but anyway, that's a lot of what's going on. A lot. You can see back here, these. We have, these are Sunrise Bumblebee tomatoes, and these up here are pineapple pear tomatoes. Something I like to do, I'm not a big tomato eater. I just started. Sorry, I'm gonna put my stuff here. I'm gonna have stuff all over the yard. I like to, so I don't love tomatoes. I just started eating them. And I've told this story also before. I've just kind of started eating them. I don't know if they were too acidic, but raw tomatoes always gave me like a headache. And my parents would always be like, no, that's not true. No, it is true. It was true. But regardless, I'll cut them up. So I'll cut them up and eat them like very small pieces. Like in the morning I'll do eggs with, like this morning I had eggs with, I cut up a couple of my, like 3 or 4 of my cherry tomatoes, put them on there with a little bit of cheese, and that was my breakfast. I'll do them in very thin slices on like a veggie sandwich or something like that. And then I like them processed, cooked, that kind of thing, or mix them with other things. But that's what I've learned to do with my cherry tomatoes. Oh gosh, what else is happening? How are you guys? Like I said, it's been a really good year so far. I think the best tomato year we've had, as I said. Hang on, see if I can get a visitor. You again? Are you a camera? Are you friends with a camera? Okay, easy. Oh, these girls, man, let me tell you. What's that quote in Game of Thrones? War is easier than daughters. Not entirely true. My girls were quite lovely, but these chickens, man, not so much. Oh, but yeah, we did put in some berry bushes. I think I have a video of that from earlier in the year. They've been doing well. I'm hoping for a really good next year, a really good crop. Oh, I do want to show you something. Hang on. I think I took a video of this before, so I just want to show you the progress. So I planted sunflowers this year. I love, and you'll see, I have flowers, not as many as I normally grow actually, but I did my zinnia row, and that turned out amazing. The reason I did that was because I wanted kind of like a way station for my pollinators, and that turned out better than I could have hoped. My plan for all my zinnias is I want to save the seeds, and I never want to have to buy zinnia seeds. Well, I mean, I probably will, but I want to save the seeds, dry them, and then also dehead them and then replant them in those same things, and every year just keep growing it. I'll probably add some newer colors and new varieties to it eventually, but I just love growing flowers because they're beautiful. I'm always picking bouquets, putting them in my kitchen, and then the pollinators love them. They just add such a lovely aesthetic to your garden. But with that said, I planted a bunch of sunflowers this year, and the groundhogs came, ate all my sunflowers. They ate my all my beans. They ate which I guess I don't care if I'm not growing them anymore. They ate my baby dill plants. They ate a couple things. I had to start over. So I started over. They ate them again. So then I started sunflowers in pots, and I waited till they were like 2 feet tall. What, you want to say hi? Till they were like 2 feet tall, and put them in the ground, and I'll be darned, they ate them again. So I kind of gave up. So what was really funny is I had this little tiny sunflower right here. I didn't plant that. That just showed up. And of course, wouldn't you know it, the groundhogs did not touch that. But outside my little fenced-in area here, because this is part of our property, we have more outside of our fenced-in area. But outside of my area, I have these guys. Look at them. So these are my mammoth sunflowers. Now this fence, I'd say, is probably 5 feet tall. So I'm guessing that is probably like 11 or 12 feet. These are my lilacs and I forget what this is. It's from my grandmother's house. I have it written down. But I have 1, 2, 3, I have 4 sunflowers here. And it looks like this guy's about to open, but I'm guessing he's like 11 or 12 feet tall. So I'm really excited about that. That's gonna be quite nice. But I wanted lots of sunflower seeds for the chickens. Just my hydrangeas. But do you know what's funny? When we moved all these with us, and they actually changed colors. So these hydrangeas were, I believe, like a light blue color. Now they're like a pink. Now we do have a very heavy clay soil that we've had to amend, but that's part of it. So I don't know if it's because of that. That's why the soil changed. I also am going to show you something else. Yeah, again, I'm on the outside of my property now. So I got this guy from, gosh, I guess it was spring. It was right before we moved, because I remember saying to the people at it was a plant exchange. Some lady on Instagram that we were following each other. She had a plant exchange at her house. We went. It was a great time, and it was probably like 20 people there. And I got an elderberry sprig. Yes, that's it's like I said. I show the reel, and that's my husband's. I don't know what that is because there's more wood in the shop, but anyway, so I got this elderberry sprig, and I tell you what, it was probably not more than 18 inches tall, maybe 2 feet, just a stick. It literally just looked like a stick with nothing. There's no leaves, there's no buds or nothing. But look, I'll turn it around. Now that was 2 years ago. So you figure April. I know it was April because it was right before we decided to move, right before we called the realtor, that was April of 23. So that's 2 years and like it made 3 months or so. Look how big it got. Now, this is the first year that I've known anything about what to do with it. So here's some more, or here's some. So I'm gonna pick these. So evidently, elderberries are poisonous in this state. So what you have to do, you have to pick them off, and they're tiny. They're like little guys. You have to pick them off and cook them. I think the stem and the leaves and the seeds they're toxic. It says in large quantities. I don't know how many of it is. I fed like 2 of these to my husband the other day before I realized it. I was like, oh shoot. He did have a little bit of a bellyache later that day. I'm sorry, sweetheart. I'm sorry, babe. I didn't know. I don't think it was from that, because he's a full grown man. I don't think 2 elderberries would have, I don't know. They're toxic though. So do not eat these in an unprocessed state. But anyway, so you can process them. And I think it's like a cup of dried elderberries. I think sugar. I don't know what the other ingredients are. I don't know that I'll add the sugar, but apparently, and then you make like an immunity boost. So anyway, I'm very excited about this because this is the first year that I've actually gotten anything, or that I've remembered to come back here because it's in an off area. Yeah, and it's huge. And this is only the second year. I can't imagine it's gonna be too much bigger, but I don't know. I do have something else to show you though. So something that's really important to us is that we grow things. It just makes sense to me to grow perennials and bushes and fruit trees and berry bushes, things that will come back every year that we won't have to keep replanting. So for us, when we moved 2 years ago, we relocated these grapes I'm about to show you, as well as our strawberries, asparagus, some of our blueberries. Oh gosh, these mosquitoes are getting bad. We did plant new blackberries and new raspberries this year. Gosh, what else? But that's important to us because it's economical to do that. You plant them once and you just have that stuff. So as soon as we moved in, again, we did put some stuff in this year, and we're going to continue to do that. But if you're starting a new property, I recommend putting that kind of stuff in as soon as you can, because one, asparagus takes a long time. Sorry about the traffic. We do have traffic on our road. But the asparagus takes forever. And I didn't plant asparagus for so long because well, it takes so long. Somebody I know was like, oh, it takes so long, there's no point. No, there is a point. Plant it now, and then in a couple years you'll have it. But these are our grapes. We did relocate these, like I think I said that, along with this trellis that my husband made, and we're very excited that we're finally going to have grapes. Now the birds are eating them. We don't know a lot about grapes. My husband had them growing up and loved them. So I'm excited for him. He had them in his trellis in Texas. He grew up in Texas. But let me show you our grapes. Maybe one day we'll be able to make some jam or, you know, whatever out of. So look at these. Look at that. So like I said, the birds are have gotten some, but we have so many grapes that I don't mind sharing. Oh wow. But he built that. So funny thing about the grapes, I was at Lowe's, and I guess this is how things go in relationships. I was at Lowe's, and they had grapes on sale. They were like $4 for like a gallon pot or whatever, you know, whatever the size pot was, decent size, whatever. And I was like, $4 for $8 we can have grapes, right? So I'll buy one for each side. So of course I bought my 2 little pots of, you know, $8 worth of my grapes, came home, and I was like, you know, honey, we have grapes. I knew he had them in Texas, so I knew he would be on board with that. Of course, it was like, you know, he was like, oh, well, now we got to make a trellis, you know. Of course, the trellis cost us like $100 because at that time we were at our old place. We didn't have a lot of wood, you know. Now he could build it from scrap wood, but he ended up, we ended up spending like $100 for the trellis. But as you can see, we cut that out, and we brought that with us. So that $100 trellis has lasted us, and since he painted it and stained it or finished it or whatever has to happen with that. But anyway, yeah, so my little $8 worth of grapes cost us all that for that, you know. But it was fun, you know. I don't know that we'll get $100 worth of anything off of it, but maybe, right? But yeah, anyway, that's what's happening now. A lot of stuff going on. My girls are out and about still. I'll probably put them away in a little bit and go in and make some dinner. My husband should probably be home soon. But did I hear him? Oh, I might have. No. I'm the kind of wife that I look forward to my husband coming home. I don't see him. No? Okay. Anyway, I'm going to try not to wait so long in between videos, but, you know, it's kind of hard when it is him. Hi! It's funny because he knew I was going to shoot a video. Look, he's like, are you recording? No, I'm not recording. He knew I was going to shoot a video, so he was like, all right, when I come home, if you're recording, I won't talk. But yeah, it's kind of fun, you know, being out here. But I think what I was going to say was, you know, the funny thing is that, you know, there's been a lot of stuff that's happened, and I haven't really been able to document anything, but because there's been so much happening, I really haven't had time to document anything. Again, with the heat and the sun and I gotta go see my honey. He's in his work uniform, so I'm not gonna show him. Hello.
Hi. Who are you talking to?
I'm recording.
You stopped it.
I didn't stop it, no. Anyway, so because there's so much been going on that I haven't been able to get out here, you know, with growing and harvesting and preserving, and then the heat and the rain and the heat and the rain, the more heat and the more rain, you know, it's been a little bit, but hopefully it won't be as long in between because, there's, you know, a lot to document. But I'm gonna go hang out with my guy, and thanks for stopping by Songboard Homestead, and I hope to see you again soon.